This is our edition of questions and answers Q&A. We've two to go through this week. So, Rob, do you want to do the honours of reading?
Yes.
Extended questions.
The first one is from Karen182 again. So it's long, as you can probably tell at this point. I'll allow Dunphy some leeway because he did stick to trap. This is obviously in our relation to bashing RTE. So
that was Saturday's episode.
That was Saturday's
Which you can check out if you like.
Yeah. Do it. And then comment, and you might get a question read out on this thingamajig. But yeah, he says, I'll allow Dunphy some leeway because he did stick it to trap while Brady protected him and Giles stayed on autopilot, muttering rubbish like, it's a simple game, Dara. Also, I know you guys were critical of the FAI previously and that you said you would prefer if Ireland didn't get to the Euros because it would highlight the problems in the organisation, but the only way we are going to get better football is with more money and maybe more importantly, with renewed interest in Irish football. I disagree on the money, to be honest. I attend almost every home game in Lansdowne Road and Croke Park from around the qualifiers of Euro 2004 to the end of the World Cup qualifiers of 2010, but became wary of traps soon after that. Since then, I have greeted every international break with, fuck, is it that time again? And I was close to not watching the Germany game, but that win has given me hope that things will get better for Irish football. Quickly just wanted to ask your thoughts on Liverpool fans. I've seen so many interviews and tweets from them saying Klopp has to protect the history of the club or something similar. What does that mean? Surely if the team is winning, the history of the club doesn't matter. Do they think Klopp is secretly at Man United Twitter troll shouting 20 times Man United? Or if that's the case, he's carrying around a textbook entitled History of LFC that his man put a protective plastic covering over, like in third class, and that he's gnawing at the chance to carve his initials into it with a compass. What do you think?
I had protective covers up till I was about 13.
I still have protective covers.
Yeah. Big fan. Yeah.
But what do you make of
I think we should start with a little bit of Irish stuff.
Yeah.
There's some points there, like the Liverpool one's good. We'll come to that eventually because that's been in the media a lot for the week. But I wouldn't let Dunphy off because he's critical of Trapp, because he's critical of everybody. That's what he does. Yeah. He just talks nonsense to get you to talk about him. He was critical of every coach, even before we can remember it. You can see clips on YouTube of him being critical of Jack Charlton.
Yeah.
So
it's like the one thing I would say is that it's a lot easier to criticise someone than praise them. And Dunphy obviously criticises people because he knows that is the easier thing to do.
Yeah, he says it's about aesthetics and how we have outstanding players, which isn't true.
No.
But the aesthetic part, if we played well and lost, he would criticise the coach and say it's a simple game that you have to win.
Yeah. Where
results matter more. You can imagine him saying it. I can actually hear him saying it, in my head.
Yeah, like baby.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, I don't... you're entitled to your opinion, obviously, Carol, but I don't accept that at all because that's just what he does. If he had come out once and criticised Trapp, like a crusade thing, that'd be fair enough, but it's the usual with him. The money thing is not true, in my opinion. I'm going to go with Rob because where's the money from Euro 2012 and how has that helped?
It hasn't. In my opinion, it's made us a worse footballing.
Apparently the FAI used to say back in the day, my dad was telling me, that if we ever made a World Cup, we'd be able to have our own stadium. Separate from the rugby, which is the situation, because so much money we've made. We did the 3 World Cups.
Yeah. Where's that stadium? Where's that stadium,
2
John?
European Championships, and there's no stadium. Not that we would need it. I actually think there should only be one stadium in Dublin.
Yeah.
For all the sports, because it's ridiculous to have a city our size having 2 stadiums.
Yeah.
Croke Park is 80 odd, and
it's like it's a city in which you can literally walk across in about a half an hour.
Yeah.
And we've got to when I say walk across the city, I mean inner city Dublin, not the entire thing, literally across the whole thing.
So no, I don't think that the money thing is a good point because it wouldn't be invested in the right way. So the changes that we say have to come around would precipitate the money being used well, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Although that will never happen.
No.
Because
the money will never be used well.
That's just Irish administration.
That's ridiculous.
That's the way it is, unfortunately. Where were we? I don't get the wary of Trapp thing around 2010 because he still did his job. He didn't do it in a way that pleased most people. But the Liverpool thing, I have no idea what protecting the history means. No. I'm not entirely sure. We always say on the podcast about West Ham way, Spurs
the West Ham way and the Spurs way are, I am 100% sure, are mythological things.
Yeah.
Because I have never, my dad's a Spurs fan, as I've mentioned a few times on the podcast and on the videos, and I've asked him what the crack is with the Spurs way, and he just playing attacking football, and I was like, yeah, but that's the point. You're supposed to do attacking football. There's loads of different ways. You can do counter-attacking football. You can do possession-based. It doesn't matter. There's no set way to do it. But anyway. And
when you refer to the history of Liverpool Football Club, I hate that expression. And not just for Liverpool, of all clubs, because we know what they are. Yeah. It's the sport that we cover, and that the person who said it is covering. But what history do you mean? Have you isolated the few decades where Liverpool won everything and decided that that's the history of the club?
History, yeah.
Remember that before that, if you go way, way back, Everton were way more successful. So how have you just neatly...
It's selective, Rob.
Yeah, of course.
But
I don't understand how we could do that.
It's just ridiculous. I don't understand. Yeah, it's weird. But for the how to word this in a way that's acceptable.
I'm glad that you're taking the time.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's in terms of like this whole protecting the history crap that that so many people seem to be saying on social media and all the crack. I would much rather a manager come in, completely disregard the history of the club and win a Premier League title.
Yeah.
I would like if Coleman left tomorrow and some new fella from I don't know, just some unknown quantity came in and took over at Southampton and he disregarded the youth setup, disregarded the possession based football and started playing pewders football or something like this. And I wouldn't be happy about it. But if he won a Premier League title, how can you question the method?
Of course.
Like that's my opinion on it anyway. I think history is irrelevant in the present day. If you're setting up a club to try and win things, which of course is what Liverpool are trying to do.
It could be the values of the club, like how they treat the fans, how your match day experience is. That's hugely important. Certain things are worth keeping, even if they have to be adapted. I was just thinking when you were speaking there, I think that they mean protecting the history of the club against Fenway. Do you know what I mean? To stop FSG from doing things. But that just popped into my head. But that's the most ridiculous. You want your manager to go in opposition to his employer. In like some kind of public battle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you imagine that it's like, you've taken a leap of faith employing a manager who's been out of work for a while, burnt out in his last job, arguably. Well, I'd say he did, but you've taken a leap of faith employing me. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on a personal crusade against you in the media, just to make the fans like me.
Against the people that pay my
wages. Against the people that run the football club, against everything that Liverpool currently are, whether you like it or not. That's what
I don't get the expression, and I don't think it's a mistrust of Klopp with the whole 20 times Man United thing. I don't even think Liverpool fans are that paranoid. But I don't think it's a thing against Klopp doing anything to the club. It does sound to me like they want him to go in opposition to Fenway for some reason.
Yeah, which is bizarre.
Truly working together.
Yeah.
An all-round holistic approach.
I mean, like, at the end of the day, under Fenway, they had definitely their most successful season in recent years. They nearly won the title, for fuck's sake. Relax. Give them a bit of time. Yeah, you've had a bad, to Liverpool fans, you've had a bad sort of run past couple of seasons with like the whole Rodgers thing and all that kind of crack, but at the end of the day, you've nearly got a title out of it. So just relax and give them time. It was a mistake at the end of the day. Selling the players obviously is going to fucking...
Can't keep players that don't want to stay.
Exactly.
So
we'll move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Grand. So this is from Griley or G Riley. We had an argument before we started recording about what way to pronounce your name, so correct us in the comments if you want. I'm going to say Griley. But the question is, why hasn't Jordan Rhodes got to move to a Premier League club? Do you want to go or will I? First.
I'll let you go first.
Right. Because Southampton were in for Jordan Rhodes before we got Shane Long. Let's not talk about that. But before we got Shane Long, we were in for Jordan Rhodes. And the reason why we didn't go from it in the end was because he can't play football. Like, he's a good finisher and he can put the ball in the goal, but he does nothing else. He's like a modern Darren Bent for me. Like, and I think in the way most upper Premier League clubs want to play, having a player like that isn't going to work. Because you need a front man who can drop off, who can find a pass. Like, look at Pella for us. Look at pretty much any... Look at the top 8 clubs in the Premier League, and every single striker that they have has the ability to drop off, find a pass, run into the channels. Jordan Rhodes doesn't do any of that. Jordan Rhodes is like... It's like playing with 10 men when you've got Jordan Rhodes. Yeah. And he sticks the ball in the goal, and that's all he does.
Like Javier Hernandez. Like, he's flattered to be compared to Javier Hernandez, but he's a similar player in that he doesn't really... couldn't start him.
No.
Not as you say, like upwardly mobile Premier League clubs wouldn't look for him. As for getting into the Premier League at all, because remember, there's some players who get moves up from the Championship and you kind of look and say, really, like Ings, okay, he got into the Premier League, then he got to move up to Liverpool. Cameron Jerome,
I've no idea how he's still
certain players do. I think Rhodes isn't in the Premier League because of his asking price. Blackburn need money. But instead of that making them weaker, sometimes if somebody needs something, you can sell. The price is always about the same. It's always about £9 million. That's a lot of money to spend on a striker who, as much as they'd say, hasn't played in the Premier League. So and he's small. Will work against you when teams are basing you off big. I wouldn't personally do it because Jordan Rhodes, he ruined one of my birthdays.
Really?
Went to see Fulham Blackburn last season. And the game was one of the worst games of football I've ever seen, to be quite honest. But it basically consisted of... Actually, it was Kit Simon's first game in charge. Funny how these things work.
It was an omen.
Yeah. But the game basically consisted of the ball going to Grant Hanley, who would take one touch out with his foot and just pump the ball. Sounds like percentage balls to a tiny Jordan Rhodes, who eventually scored. Ball centre half fails to clear it, bobbles, he hits it first time. In fairness, he has a great finish on him. I can see the value of him, but I think it's his asking price mixed in with the fact that he hasn't played in the Premier League before. It's not immediately clear that he would just take to it. So, because you know how it is, you sign a player for big money, he doesn't score in the first 6 or 7 games, you drop him. He then sits on your bench as an expensive asset, and he's basically a stick to beat the manager with.
Yeah.
It happens with Emmanuel Riviere at Newcastle. Played for the first few games last season, they just dropped him. It's like, you don't drop strikers who aren't scoring. Generally speaking, you should stick with them as much as possible. But they do this. Brown Adeye was another one. Signed for West Brom. They dropped him because he didn't score instantly. Started scoring towards the end of last season. Now he's still on the bench.
No, he's out on loan now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's out on loan. I think he's been in the Champions League again anyway.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember who he played for, but yeah, he's on loan for a Champions League.
There is an expensive waste of money.
Yeah.
The only reason that's not gone south is because you can't blame Pulis for anything. Yeah, he's back to Black status rather than Stoke status. Yeah, so.
Makes me sick.
I don't think he will come to the Premier League.
No, I think the only way he's going to get to the Premier League if another Championship club buys him and they get promoted. And even then, I think when they get into the Premier League, they won't play him because, as you say, he's small, he's diminutive, but he's not especially
quick.
He's not quick, exactly.
No.
Like if you're having a small striker, you need them to be able to stretch.
Yeah.
The back four, especially in the Premier League, with like the high lines that are in vogue now at the moment. Like,
and as was said off air just before we recorded, he does have the British asking price premium. If not the English one, he's got the British one. So there is a certain amount of that. I just don't think he's a particularly exceptional player. He wouldn't. He seems to come around every summer, like plague or something.
Yeah.
But like every transfer window, he's linked with every club under the sun. Nobody's willing to spend the money, which makes me extremely dubious. There must be something that's known in those circles. You know the way like in football administration of clubs, because there's got to be one club stupid enough to pay mad money for strikers who Mitrovic, who aren't as good as maybe you think they are. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's why he hasn't been.
Yeah, I probably agree with you there. Yeah.
And the more windows it goes on, the less likely he is to be brought into the Premier League, because then the age thing comes in.
Yeah.
And he's never really had a blistering season for me.
No.
That's personally. He also ruined my birthday. So.
Yeah, which makes me even more of a dickhead.
Never me. No, I'm not going to hope that. But so is that right for
that's a wrap? Yeah, that's a wrap.
So what do you think of our answers? You can leave comments in the section below, or questions if you want, because we'll try to get a Q&A every week. As long as we get, I think, more than one question, it'll be worth time.
Yeah, pretty much
to record. Yeah. So subscribe to Final Third TV on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at @the_final_third, and thanks for watching.